All right, get ready because today we're diving into something really interesting. It's about ancestral messages and soulmates. And we're looking at it all through these tarot readings. I'm super curious to see what we find. You sent this YouTube video and transcript over, and wow, it's a lot to unpack.
It does combine a few different things, doesn't it? Spirituality and ancestral wisdom and, yeah, love, that age-old quest for love.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that really stood out to me was how the reader, they did separate readings for masculine and feminine energies. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's interesting. It could be a way to understand different parts of a person, kind of like how I think some astrologers use different charts, like for different parts of your life. It's a pretty complex approach.
Okay, so let's start with the masculine energy reading. It talks about someone who's coming out of conflicts and endings and like stepping into this new phase, of self-discovery and taking control.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something that maybe you relate to right now?
Maybe. I mean, think about those times when you've had to move on, maybe in relationships or even your job. Or like even just your own beliefs. It's not always easy, but it feels good to take control, don't you think?
I totally agree. Yeah, it's like you're shedding your old skin or something.
Yeah.
And the reading jumps right into those messages from ancestors. And the first one is a soulmate connection. So what are your thoughts on this whole idea of destined love? Especially, when we're talking about tarot.
Yeah, it's definitely something you see in a lot of spiritual traditions, this idea that some souls are meant to find each other. I think some people find it comforting, like knowing there's someone out there for you and it's all guided by something bigger.
So the reading actually gives a lot of details about this soulmate. It says they've been through a lot of pain themselves and maybe seem guarded, but are actually really warm inside. Do you see this wounded healer idea a lot when it comes to soulmates?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a powerful archetype. Someone who's taken their own pain and turned it into empathy and understanding. It suggests that the connection goes way deeper than just surface level stuff.
And it even says the relationship might develop slowly, which, after all that talk about past conflicts, sounds kind of nice. Like it's not just this instant love thing.
Right. It's like it's a connection that just kind of unfolds on its own, built on trust and really getting each other. It kind of makes me think of that Japanese idea, kintsugi, where they repair broken pottery with gold, and it's even more beautiful because of it. It's like that with this soulmate thing. Two souls coming together who have been through a lot.
I like that. And the reading actually says this connection is divinely guided and protected by ancestors. That's kind of cool, right? Like this whole spiritual support system behind you.
It is. It's like tapping into this wisdom that's been passed down through generations, like this network of love and guidance that's still there for us.
It's really a nice thought. And it leads into the next message, which is about a new journey. It says it'll be tough but rewarding and somehow tied to meeting this soulmate. Like you go on a quest and then you meet them.
Oh, that's interesting because, so much of personal growth is about the unknown, stepping outside your comfort zone. And who better to go on that journey with than someone who really gets you, right? Like your soulmate.
Right. And it says you won't be alone on this journey. Does that mean like friends or mentors, maybe even spiritual guides?
Maybe all of them. Think about those times in your life when you've grown the most, where there are people around you. It's like this message is saying, hey, you're not going through this alone.
It's reassuring. Yeah. And the reading really pushes healing and trusting the path. It feels like it's saying, let go and trust the process, even when it's hard.
Yeah, surrendering is definitely the hard part, isn't it? We always want to be in control, but sometimes the best growth happens when we let go and trust something bigger.
And it keeps mentioning how the soulmate's also been hurt,
Yeah.
Makes me think this connection is about understanding each other's pain, not just like a quick fling.
Exactly. There's the saying, the wound is where the light enters you. They've both been hurt, so they can see each other's light more clearly.
And it even says this connection might lead you to a whole community where you belong. It's like finding your tribe through this soulmate.
Right, like the idea of soul families, soul that keep coming back together lifetime after lifetime to help each other grow. Maybe this soulmate is like a doorway to that, Not just in a romantic way, but on a deeper soul level.
Okay, now for a bit of a change. The reading talks about self-mastery, urging you to embrace your desires and go into this new journey with confidence. It's like this pep talk, even before you meet the soulmate.
That's important though, right? Because real connection has to start from within. It's like realizing your worth, your passions, and stepping into your power. Because you attract what you are.
And it's not like you're alone in this self-mastery thing. The reading hints that the soulmate will be there to support you, and it could lead to a real partnership, maybe even a family. Does that mean, like, true soulmates are also amazing life partners?
It's a nice image, isn't it? A partnership where they both want to grow and they support each other in that. It's not about needing each other. It's about two whole people choosing to walk the path together.
But wait, there's another twist. The reading also talks about facing your inner self and being okay with solitude.
Yeah.
Even if it means feeling lonely sometimes, it's kind of the opposite of all that soulmate stuff.
Right. But it's also saying self-discovery is an inside job. It's about making space to look inward, to connect with your own wisdom. Loneliness can actually help you grow, you know? It helps you understand your own needs and desires.
And it also gives a warning about insincere people,
Hmm.
like a cosmic heads up to be careful who you let in.
It's like not everyone's on the same wavelength, you know? As you work on yourself and heal, you start to sense the energy of the people around you more.
So, like, as you change, your relationships need to change too.
Yeah, exactly. You naturally outgrow some connections that don't serve you anymore. It could be romantic, it could be friendships, even family sometimes. It's just part of life.
And it looks like that whole process is really tied to following your passions. It's like the reading is inviting you to do what you love and trust that the right people will come along.
There's something really attractive about being genuine, don't you think? When you're living your passion, you just give off this energy that attracts others who feel the same.
Yeah. It's like they say, be the energy you want to attract.
Exactly. And with soulmates, it's like you're more likely to find them when you're being your true self, not trying to be someone else.
What about those past hurts, though? The reading also says to let them go and trust that everything happens for a reason, like thinking ahead, not dwelling on the past.
It's about letting go of what's holding you back. You know, everything that's happened to you, even the bad stuff, has made you who you are today. If you hold on to anger or regret, it just weighs you down. This reading is like saying, turn it around. See yourself as the winner, not the victim.
It's like you're taking control of your own story and focusing on growth.
Yeah, exactly. And when you do that, you open up to new possibilities, maybe even chapters filled with love, joy, and real connection.
Okay, so the reading then starts talking about taking action, being clear and decisive, going after what you want, and knowing the right people will follow.
That reminds me of co-creation. You're not just sitting around waiting for fate. You're actually shaping your reality by what you think, what you do, and what you want. It's a reminder that you have a choice in this whole thing.
But it's not just about going crazy with action, right? The reading also talks about timing and planning and doing things at the right time. It's about mixing intuition with strategy.
Like, the universe gives you the ingredients, but you're the chef. You decide how to use them, what to create. And timing, well, that's a key ingredient in anything you make.
Okay, back to the soulmate. The reading gives more details and says there's someone who is very spiritual, intuitive, and insightful. Is that typical for soulmates, or is that getting super specific?
It's interesting because it suggests a connection that's more than just physical or emotional. It's like minds meeting, souls connecting on a deeper level.
Do you think you have to be spiritual to attract a soulmate? Or can anyone find one?
That's a good question. I think everyone has a spiritual side, even if they don't realize it. Maybe this reading is saying it's important to nurture that side of yourself, to be open to love on different levels.
Okay, let's look ahead. The reading is really optimistic. It says the path ahead is bright, and you should embrace this new chapter with balance and a focus on long-term plans. It's like a motivational speech from the universe.
It's encouraging you to shift your thinking. Instead of focusing on what's ended, think about new beginnings. The focus on long-term plans makes it sound like this soulmate connection isn't just a fling, it could be something that lasts and grows.
And it says to connect with people who are spiritual and have strong intuition, should we all be hanging out at crystal shops now?
Maybe. But really, it's saying surround yourself with people who support your spiritual side and who share your values. It's about building a network that helps you become who you really are.
And to become that person, the reading says to trust your gut, let go of regrets, and be present. Sounds like advice for a good life and for finding a soulmate.
It's about letting go of baggage and being open to the present moment. You know, when you're grounded, you can see the signs and messages the universe sends your way.
Okay, so this masculine energy reading has covered a lot. It mixes action and surrender, personal growth, and soulmate connections. But we haven't even touched on the feminine energy reading yet. Are you ready to see what that one says?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm curious to see what's different and what other insights we can find. Okay, so let's switch gears and look at the feminine energy reading. This one starts by describing someone who's achieved success after leaving a situation or like a whole environment. They've been taking time for themselves to heal, and they're observing and reflecting. It feels like it's talking about a time of big changes and looking inward.
Yeah, definitely. It makes me wonder, is this solitude thing about actually being alone? Or is it more about finding that space in your mind, in your heart, to really think about things?
Could be both, you know? Sometimes you need to get away from everything to really see things clearly, to get away from outside influences and really listen to that inner voice.
That makes sense. Like hitting pause on life to figure out what really matters.
Exactly. And this reading seems to be saying that taking that pause is really important. Giving yourself time to process things, to heal, and to come out on the other side even stronger.
And even though there are challenges, the reading says to see them as chances to grow. It's like looking at obstacles in a new way, not as setbacks, but as steps forward.
Right. It reminds me of that lotus flower, you know, the one that grows in muddy water. It's like saying challenges can actually help you grow and change in a good way.
Okay, so in the middle of all this self-discovery talk, there's this interesting line. It says the person is deeply invested in someone. Do you think that's a romantic thing? Or could it be a really close friend, family, or even a mentor?
It's a good question. It sounds like a really strong emotional connection to me, you know, like it's someone who's really important to them.
And then it gets even more interesting. It talks about feeling whole and self-aware in this connection. And it says this person might be far away. Can real love actually grow when you're not physically together?
I think so. Have you ever heard of twin flames? They're two souls that are so connected it doesn't matter how far apart they are.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
So this reading is kind of like that. It's about a connection that goes beyond surface stuff, beyond just being near each other. Maybe being apart even makes it stronger. You know, you have to communicate more, trust more, really understand each other.
It's like absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Exactly. It challenges the idea that you have to be together all the time for love to work. Maybe true connection is about something much deeper, a meeting of souls that can survive distance.
But this person isn't just floating around in a happy bubble, right? The reading also says they're dealing with challenges and that they've already experienced some heartbreak. It's like they've come out of some tough stuff even stronger.
Yeah, it says a lot about resilience, about loving yourself. This person hasn't just gotten over heartbreak, they've used it to become stronger. They've learned from it so they can attract a love that's more right for them.
So it's not just finding a soulmate, it's becoming the kind of person who can have one.
Exactly. And it's a journey, you know, not a finish line. It's about always growing, healing old wounds, and learning to love yourself more and more.
Okay, let's get to those messages from the ancestors. The first one says to embrace a fresh start and a special relationship. I'm sensing a theme here, are you?
Definitely. Both readings talk about how life is a cycle. Endings and beginnings happen all the time. And inside that cycle, there's this message to let go of what's not good for you and be open to something new, something amazing.
Feels like a huge cosmic cleanup, making room for something new to grow. And speaking of amazing, this reading says this relationship might even go beyond this lifetime. That's a whole new level of connection, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. It brings up this idea of soul contracts. You know, agreements souls make before they're born about the lessons they'll learn and the things they'll experience together. Maybe this soulmate connection is like a continuation of a bond they've had for many lifetimes.
Okay, so how seriously should we take that? Is it really about past lives or more like a symbol for a really deep, strong connection?
I think it depends on how you see it. Some people believe in reincarnation. For others, it might just be a feeling that the connection is so strong, it feels meant to be, like it was always supposed to happen. It's really about recognizing how powerful this bond is.
And the next message is super clear soulmate connection again. It says you're either about to meet your soulmate or make your existing connection stronger. It's cool how it's worded, like you might already be connected in some way without even realizing it.
It's like those soul connections work in mysterious ways. Maybe you've bumped into this soulmate already, you know? Or maybe you met, but the timing wasn't right for things to really happen.
It also mentions this soulmate might have had bad experiences with people in the past, like dealing with people who weren't sincere. Do you think that happens a lot with soulmates? Like attracting people who weren't ready for how intense it can be?
Yeah, it's possible. Soulmate connections make you face your deepest feelings, and not everyone's ready for that. Sometimes it's easier to avoid that intensity and just have relationships that aren't so deep.
So it's like you have to go through some wrong ones to get to the right one.
Maybe. And it's important to remember Soulmate connections aren't just about romance. They're about growing spiritually. It's about finding someone who challenges you to be your best self, even if that means facing some tough truths along the way.
This soulmate isn't just some random person,
Yeah.
right? The reading says it's a karmic connection, maybe even from a past life. And it says you'll feel familiar with them right away, even if they're far away, like meeting someone for the first time and feeling like you've known them forever.
That's what they call soul recognition. Knowing someone on a level that goes beyond time and space. It's like they see you, they get you, they accept you completely.
Okay, so we've got this soulmate, maybe from a past life, possibly far away, and probably been through some tough times themselves. It's starting to sound like a pretty detailed description, almost like a cosmic dating profile.
Yeah, it is getting more detailed. It's like saying soulmate connections aren't random, they're all part of a bigger plan.
And this plan seems to happen after you've focused on yourself.
Right.
The reading says this soulmate shows up after you've done the inner work, after you've healed and spent time alone. Like, you have to be ready for them by becoming the best version of yourself.
That's the law of attraction in action. When you prioritize your own growth, your energy changes, and you attract things that match that. So you're basically inviting your soulmate in by being who you truly are.
All right, time to get a little mystical. The reading says this connection is super spiritual, maybe even a reunion from past lives. It's taking that whole karmic thing to another level.
It's like saying the connection is deeper than just the physical world. Their souls are merging for a bigger reason, a shared mission.
And it says this spiritual depth grows as you find balance and go after what you're passionate about. So it's all connected, your personal growth, the soulmate connection, and your spiritual journey.
Oh, absolutely. They're all woven together like threads in a tapestry. It's about seeing how everything is connected, how when you grow in one area, it affects everything else.
So it's not just about finding your soulmate, it's about waking up spiritually together.
Exactly. It's about helping each other evolve, challenging each other to grow, and experiencing how powerful love can be on a soul level.
Okay, but with all this intense spiritual stuff, the reading also mentions stability and clarity.
Hmm.
Can you have both a passionate, exciting connection that's also grounded and steady?
I think that's what everyone wants, right? A relationship that's exciting and safe, a balance of passion and peace. It's about finding that place where you can be yourself completely and still feel secure and understood.
Like a yin-yang thing, blending those opposite energies together.
Exactly. And it's not always easy to find, but it's definitely something to aim for. This reading seems to be saying that this soulmate connection could have that kind of balance. Love that's both passionate and grounding.
Speaking of grounding, the reading then shifts to making plans for the future. It's like, okay, enough with the uncertainty. Let's get real and start making things happen. Almost like the universe is saying, go for it.
It's about matching your actions with your intentions. You've done the work on yourself. You know what you want. Now it's time to actually take steps to make it happen.
But it's not just about you doing stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reading says the right person comes along when both people have done their inner work and let go of old baggage. It's like this cosmic matchmaking service that requires personal growth.
It shows how important it is to take responsibility in relationships. You can't expect someone else to make you whole or fix your problems. True soulmates are two whole people who come together. They each bring something special to the table.
So you should be with someone who's also growing and evolving.
Exactly. Find someone who understands your journey, supports your growth, and pushes you to be your best self. And you do the same for them.
We're back to that family theme again. This time it talks about reuniting with someone who's meant to be in your life, a bond that goes beyond this lifetime. It's like this soulmate isn't just a lover, they're family on a soul level.
It's that soul family idea again. Groups of souls that come back together lifetime after lifetime to help each other grow. It's a beautiful thought, isn't it? Our connections go beyond our immediate family. We have these souls who have been with us through everything, guiding and supporting us.
And to welcome this soulmate in, the reading says to let go of what's not working anymore, like cleaning out the clutter to make space for them.
Letting go is so important for growth. It's about releasing those attachments to people, beliefs, and situations that aren't good for you anymore. It's creating space for new experiences and connections that fit who you are now.
This next part is really specific. The reading says this soulmate has probably been single for a while, maybe even ended a marriage. It's like they're reading a cosmic dating profile.
I know, it is pretty specific, isn't it? It's almost like it's speaking directly to your situation.
And then it says, together you'll form a complete and fulfilling family unit. It even mentions the Ten of Cups card, which is usually about happiness and fulfillment in families. It's like a guarantee that this soulmate connection will have a happy ending.
It does paint a picture of a future filled with love and harmony. But it also reminds us that happiness is a choice we make. We have to put in the effort to find joy and be grateful in our lives.
So even with a soulmate, you still have to work at creating a good life together.
Absolutely. Relationships are alive, they change all the time. You need good communication, compromise, and a commitment to growing together.
Okay, more advice. It says to look at things from different points of view before making decisions. It's like the universe is saying, keep an open mind, especially about love.
It's about stepping outside your own head and trying to see things from other angles. There's always more than one way to look at a situation, and sometimes the best answers come when you're willing to see things differently.
Like that saying, you can't see the picture when you're in the frame.
Exactly. Sometimes you have to step back to understand what's really going on.
It also says to move forward with confidence and trust that everything happens at the right time. Like a cosmic pep talk reminding you that you're exactly where you need to be.
Trust is so important when you're trying to manifest what you want, especially when it comes to love. It's about surrendering to the flow of life, believing that the universe is looking out for you, even if things aren't happening on your schedule.
Like what's meant for you won't pass you by.
Exactly. Sometimes what feels like a delay is actually a redirection. It's pushing you towards a love that's even better than you thought possible.
And of course, it wouldn't be a soulmate reading without saying that this connection is part of a bigger plan, like a reminder that you're not alone in this journey.
Yeah.
Something's guiding you towards love.
It's about believing that we're all connected, part of something bigger. And within that, there are forces guiding us towards what's best for us, even if we can't see it yet.
Okay, now let's talk about what kind of person this soulmate is. The reading says they're responsible, they have clear boundaries, and they make you feel secure. Sounds like they checked all the boxes for a good, mature partner.
Those are definitely signs of someone who's emotionally available and trustworthy. It's about finding someone who's done their own work on themselves, respects themselves and others, and can build a strong foundation for a relationship.
Like a blueprint for a healthy relationship, where you both feel safe and respected.
Right. It's about finding someone who makes your life better, brings out your best qualities, and helps you grow.
And again, it says everything happens at the right time. Don't stress about when this soulmate will show up. Focus on your dreams instead. It's like the universe is saying, relax, trust the process.
It's about focusing on your own happiness and fulfillment, not on outside validation. Go after your passions, nurture yourself, and trust that the universe will bring your soulmate to you at the perfect time.
It's like bloom where you're planted.
Exactly. And when you bloom, you attract the bees, or I guess in this case, soulmates.
Okay, but what about when those doubts creep in? The reading acknowledges that you might overthink things even with all these reassurances. Is that something that happens a lot when people are looking for their soulmate?
Overthinking usually comes from fear, doesn't it? Fear of the unknown, fear of getting hurt, fear of not being good enough. It's that voice in your head whispering doubts and anxieties, trying to keep you stuck in your comfort zone.
So how do you quiet that voice and just trust that you're on the right track?
It's about being aware of those negative thoughts, recognizing those patterns and choosing to think differently. It's about replacing fear with faith, doubt with trust, and anxiety with excitement for what's coming.
Like retraining your mind to see possibilities instead of problems.
Exactly. The more you do that, the easier it gets. You're basically rewiring your brain to have a more positive and optimistic view on life and love.
And maybe that positive view will pay off sooner than you think. The reading says your soulmate might show up when you start a new journey, when you leave the past behind. It's like an invitation to embrace change and bravely step into the unknown.
It's a great metaphor for transformation. When you let go of the things that aren't serving you anymore, old beliefs, bad habits, past hurts, you make room for new experiences and connections.
It's like shedding that old skin and becoming a newer, brighter you.
Exactly. And when you do that, your energy changes and you attract people and experiences that are more aligned with who you really are.
And your soulmate's on their own journey too. They're working on self-love and finding stability. It's like you're both getting ready for each other, making the reunion even more special.
It shows how important it is to be with someone who's on the same path as you. Find someone who gets your journey, supports your growth, and inspires you to be your best.
Like finding your teammate in the game of life.
Exactly. And the journey's so much more fun when you have someone to share it with, someone who gets your struggles, celebrates your wins, and keeps you moving forward.
And the reading gives lots of reassurance too. It says you're protected, you're blessed, and this distant connection is either coming into your life or is already there.
Hmm.
It's like a big cosmic hug, reminding you that you're loved and taken care of.
It's like having a spiritual support system. Whether you believe in guardian angels, your ancestors, or just the good energy of the universe, you're never really alone. There are forces looking out for you every step of the way.
And if you need even more reassurance, it says this distant person is single. They've left their past behind. It's like it's addressing any worries you might have directly.
It's interesting, isn't it, how specific it gets? It's almost like it knows what you're thinking and is trying to comfort you.
Okay, we're getting to the end of this feminine energy reading, and it feels like we're building towards something big. It talks about breaking free from obstacles and feeling stuck. It sounds like a huge shift is about to happen.
It reminds us that growth means pushing ourselves out of our comfort zones, facing our fears and breaking free from things that are holding us back. It's about accepting change, even when it's scary.
It's like coming out of a cocoon and going into the unknown, trusting that you'll be able to fly.
Exactly. And that trust is crucial because this reading says this special relationship will be full of love, support, and guidance. It even promises you'll get clear signs when your soulmate arrives. It's like the universe will send you a text saying, hey, this is it.
I love that. It's like all those synchronicities people talk about, those moments when everything just lines up perfectly and you know you're on the right path.
It shows how powerful intuition is and how important it is to pay attention to those little signs and messages. When you're following your purpose and your heart is open, you start to notice them. You can hear what your soul is trying to tell you.
And it sounds like your soul is saying this soulmate is loyal, sincere, and will protect you. Like finding a safe haven, someone who will always be there for you.
It shows how important it is to feel safe in a relationship. You need to be with someone who is passionate and inspires you, but also someone who you can trust, someone who is dependable, and who can create a stable and secure relationship.
Okay, all this talk about loyalty and protection makes me think of knights in shining armor. Is it saying you need someone to rescue you? Or is it more about finding someone who supports your strength and your independence?
It's definitely not about being rescued. Soulmates are about empowering each other. They help each other be strong and shine bright. It's about finding someone who celebrates your strengths and supports your growth, and also offers a safe space when you need to rest.
So it's more about finding someone who complements your strength, not completes you.
Exactly. It's two whole individuals choosing each other. Each one brings their own experiences and strengths to the relationship. They create a partnership built on respect, support, and a shared desire to grow.
Okay, remember how we talked about self-love earlier? It's back. This time it says to embrace self-love and connect with nature to heal and find guidance. It's like a cosmic prescription for feeling good.
Nature is amazing for healing and feeling refreshed. It reminds us to be present, to connect with the rhythms of the world around us, and to find peace and inspiration in its beauty.
It's like hitting reset on your mind and body and letting the earth take care of you.
Exactly. When you feel grounded and centered, you can make clear decisions and you attract experiences and relationships that truly match who you are.
And this reading says you're going through a huge transformation, a deep healing that's happening even on a cellular level. It's not just mental or emotional. It's like a change within your very being.
It's like saying our bodies, minds, and spirits are all connected. When one part heals, it affects everything else.
It's a total upgrade, like rewiring your whole system to be on a higher level.
Exactly. And this transformation can be so powerful. It can open you up to experiences and relationships you couldn't have imagined before.
Okay, but with great power comes great responsibility, right? The reading says to protect your energy. Say no to relationships that aren't right for you and to people who have bad intentions. It's like building a cosmic shield to keep out negativity.
Setting boundaries is crucial for protecting yourself and having healthy relationships. It's about knowing your worth and not settling for anything less. Surround yourself with people who lift you up and support you, not people who drain your energy.
So be picky about who you let into your life, both in romantic relationships and friendships.
Definitely. It's about choosing quality over quantity. Spend time with people who share your values and inspire you to be better.
And the reading says the right person will naturally push away those less genuine relationships. Like it's a cosmic filter, making sure only the people who are truly meant for you stay.
It's a beautiful thought, right? When you're being your true self, you attract things that match your energy. The right people will come to you and the wrong ones will fade away.
And just to be extra clear, the reading talks about those other people, the third parties. It says true love can't handle that kind of ambiguity or infidelity. your soulmate will be completely single.
It's a message of reassurance, trying to calm those fears we all have in relationships. It's saying it's important to choose people who are fully committed, people who value honesty.
Wow, that was quite a journey through the feminine energy reading. It's all about self-love, spiritual growth, and the promise of a deep connection with your soulmate. But it also reminds us that we have to do our part in attracting that love and becoming the best versions of ourselves and choosing what's truly good for us.
Absolutely, it's a call to action. Step into your power, embrace who you are, and trust that the universe is working behind the scenes to bring you and your soulmate together.
So, stepping back from all the details, I'm really struck by how both readings emphasize destiny, personal growth, and trusting your ancestors. It's like a recipe for love. A little bit of fate, a sprinkle of self-discovery, and a whole lot of trust in things you can't even see.
What I find interesting is how it combines free will and destiny. We can make choices, shape our own lives, but it also feels like there's a plan, a path that's already laid out for us. Makes you wonder, are we really in control? Or are we just acting out our parts in some big cosmic play?
And the feminine energy reading was really specific about that single soulmate. This deep connection, maybe even from a past life. It's like something out of a movie, except it could actually happen in real life.
It connects with that deep human need for connection, right? For a
Yeah.
love that goes beyond time and space, that feeling of finding your way back to a soul that truly knows you.
Like finding the missing piece of yourself.
Exactly. And that search for completeness, that desire for a love that makes you whole, it's a really powerful thing.
Okay, so after all this talk about readings and soulmates, what does it all mean for us? For anyone listening who's intrigued by these ideas, is it just fun to think about, or is there something more to it?
That's the big question, isn't it? These readings give us a peek into what could be, but they also make us ask, what if we could actually make these things happen? What if we could manifest our destiny by working on ourselves, going after our passions, and trusting our gut?
That's a big idea. It's like we're not just waiting for fate to happen, we're actually helping create it.
Exactly. And that's where things get really exciting. If we believe we have the power to shape our lives, then these readings aren't just predictions, they're more like maps. They're guides to help us find what we want.
So it's not just about hoping you'll bump into your soulmate. It's about making choices that lead you towards them.
Right. And that means taking charge of your own happiness, your own healing, and building a life that attracts the kind of love you're looking for.
So it's not just about finding the right person. It's about becoming the right person.
That's a great way to put it. We attract what we are. If we want a love that's deep and meaningful, a love that changes us, then we need to cultivate those things in ourselves.
So love yourself, do what you love, and trust that the universe is working to bring you and your soulmate together.
Exactly. And that journey of finding yourself, of figuring out your purpose and who you really are, that's an adventure on its own. It's full of its own rewards and amazing coincidences.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive.
Yeah.
But wow, what a journey. Thank you so much for sharing these amazing sources and for helping us understand all the layers of meaning.
It was my pleasure. It's always so interesting to explore these ideas and to see how they speak to different people.
And to everyone listening, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of tarot, soulmates, and the power of our ancestors. We hope this has made you curious and that it's inspired you to explore these ideas on your own. Remember, you have the power to create the love you want. So until next time, keep searching, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.